Good afternoon. Before we start reading Beowulf, we want to introduce the epic poem to you. The first question is, exactly what is Beowulf? Beowulf is often thought of as the most important piece of English literature because it is the oldest surviving manuscript written in the English language. Here's a fun fact. Beowulf is actually written in Old English, which we no longer speak nor understand. Old English sounds more like German than it does modern English. Why is the manuscript titled Beowulf? The protagonist in the epic poem Beowulf is an Anglo-Saxon warrior named Beowulf. The poem is titled after the protagonist. How old is the manuscript of Beowulf and the story of Beowulf? The Beowulf manuscript is a little over 1,000 years old. The epic poem Beowulf is found in a manuscript titled the Noel Codex. The Noel Codex contains 5 pieces of literature. All 5 pieces of literature have characters who are monsters. The most famous text in the Noel Codex is Beowulf. The Noel Codex is housed in the British Library in London, England. Wouldn't it be great if we could have a field trip and actually see it? Well, who is the author of Beowulf? The person who wrote down the story of Beowulf is not the same person who invented the story. We don't know the name of the person responsible for writing down the story of Beowulf. We believe he was likely a Catholic priest. Beowulf was written down about 1,000 years ago when Catholic priests and nuns were some of the only educated and literate people. Another fun fact, because we do not know the name of the person who wrote Beowulf down, we call him the Beowulf Shope. Shope is pronounced Shope with a long O. A Shope is a poet. Another reason that we believe a Catholic priest wrote down the story of Beowulf is that the epic poem contains a strange blend of paganism and Christianity. While the Beowulf manuscript is 1,000 years old, the actual story was created 1,500 years ago by Anglo-Saxons who were pagans. What is an Anglo-Saxon and what is a pagan? Anglo-Saxons were a cultural group who originated in what we now think of as Germany. The Anglo-Saxons invaded what is now known as England and dominated England from 450 to 1600 AD. Anglo-Saxons spoke Old English. They are the creators of the story of Beowulf. Fun fact, the Anglo-Saxons were illiterate. When they created the story of Beowulf, they told the story over and over around campfires and caves and in huts. They told the story for 500 years before it was written down. The story began in the oral tradition. Paganism is a spiritual belief in something other than the 5 major religions of Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Islam, and Buddhism. Fun fact, when we read the story of Beowulf, we will be annotating Beowulf for both pagan and Christian allusions. Food for thought. Why did the Beowulf Shope insert Christian allusions into a story about pagans? Find out the answer on a coming video. Is Beowulf a true story? It is possible that the story of Beowulf is based on historical facts. This belief is supported by the fact that many of the characters in Beowulf are the names of historic figures. It is also conjectured that the story of Beowulf may have origins in a ghastly English graveyard called Sutton Hoo. Fun fact, if you want to know more about how Beowulf may be related to Sutton Hoo, you can find videos on YouTube. Take a few minutes to click on the next slide's video. As you listen to Beowulf read in Old English, imagine yourself sitting around a fire in a hut, eating a turkey leg, drinking mead, which is beer made with honey, while being entertained with this epic